Hello, Simon here, also known as Adeftonic /Adeft/Tonic, and I am here to showcase as well as give you a tour of this Type 45. It is based on a real ship, in particular HMS Daring, for those of you who recognise the pennant number and those of you who are somewhat interested in this. It is still a work in progress, so you will notice a few texture issues here and there. Also, a few modelling details have got to be ironed out as well. I will probably kind of highlight those in some places when it's a bit obvious, but for the most part it is about to undergo a massive texturing session by myself. This is actually work that I have done myself, just to kind of point that out. However, I do also want to take this opportunity to state that this is probably going to be the first video of hopefully quite a few videos that will showcase a lot of other work from other members of Development Team Bravo. So who is Dev Team Bravo? Well, Dev Team Bravo formed about 4 or 5 weeks ago under the Harsh Doorstep banner. In fact, we were the first community group to do so. Right off the bat, we pretty much got ourselves organized and have started producing assets for Harsh Doorstep platform. So the things that we've been getting up to is obviously, making modeled assets such as, weapon crates, fuel tanks, HESCO barriers, sandbags, all the usual things that you find out and about. However, we're not just modelers, we also have programmers, we also have map designers, music composers, sound designers, UI designers or user interface designers, graphic artists. So there are a whole load of people, and hopefully, like I say, very soon you'll start to see videos showcasing their hard work, because they have been putting a lot of time into the program itself. So I hope that you guys will be very supportive. It may be that you see work in progress. You might be seeing final designs and final products. So yeah, and probably not just on an individual level. You'll probably start seeing community stuff. I mean, we've been working on a lot of vehicles, although we had quite a bit of an issue with them. It seems that UE4 is very, very particular about which program you import from, otherwise the rig doesn't work properly when you try setting it up. Something that gave us quite a headache for a couple of days, although the vehicles themselves are actually being done outside of Harsh Doorstep. So yeah, there we go, or Harsh Doorstep I should say. Other things that we have been doing are weapons, but just going back to the community very, very quickly, because weapons in this kind of vehicle really does come down to the community, because sometimes you'll have someone model a weapon and someone else will rig it, someone to make it animatable, etc., etc. And to really just sort of showcase that in a bit more of effect. The bridge here will control the gun turret, which will fire onto a map. So as you can see already, you've got map designers, you've got programmers, you've got animators who'll be animating the smoke from it. The program will be working out the projectile speed and the projectile fall off. We're going to have missiles being fired from this conning tower. Well, not from the conning tower, they'll be controlled from the conning tower, and they'll splat onto another part of the map, or they'll start tracking vehicles. They'll also be probably tracking jets. So that, as you can see, there is just going to be a massive community effort, and hopefully you will see the fruits of our labour very, very soon. Alright, so like I said, this is a work in progress, and I think it's about time that we get back to this particular asset in front of you. And yeah, so let's do that. So the ship itself comes in at just over 7,200 polygons. That also does include the collision meshes that you build for an object that is this complex. Without the collision meshes, well, you're going to fall through the floor, but the polygon count does go down to 5,500. So just to be a bit more or just clarify a little bit better. What you're seeing here rendered is 5,500 polygons, and what is not being rendered visually is the polygons that stop you from falling through the floor. And to sort of help demonstrate this, I think it's about time that we actually get onto the ship and have a little bit of a tour. So let's do this. Alright, I'm going to make a bit of a loud noise. Alright, here we go. So we're spawning onto the bridge. I have recently been remodeling the bridge, so you will find a few issues here and there, but who cares, that's going to be fixed. As you can see, we have very skin tight collisions, so I'm just going to start firing, so more loud noises. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty cool. There's been a lot of work to make sure that this is all as close to the actual model as possible. This particular area down here on the bow of the ship is not actually going to be accessible. In fact, that collision looks a bit off in the main game, mainly because during combat nobody really goes down onto this area. So I don't really see the need for anybody to be down here. But we're going to take a little bit of a tour from it because it's quite a nice view onto the, the bridge and the conning tower. Obviously, I could make a corridor here, but like I say, that's just adding polygons for no particular reason, because like I said, there's no real reason for this. This is going to be controlled from the bridge, the missiles from the conning tower. Alright, but yeah, the only reason why a collision exists down here is obviously because we want to have impact down here that can damage the ship. So that's one of the reasons, and one just gives me a little bit of a chance to do this. Yeah, the main gun turret. As you can see, low poly because we're not going to be seeing a lot of it. And the missile silos. So yeah, not much down here. Alright, we're going to go back up, and to do that I have to go back up like this, and I have to make another loud noise. Alright, so let's go into the bridge. Alright, so here on the bridge, nothing much goes on. You can just see there's one console, or one desky console thing. In real life there is actually just one console. It just goes the pretty much the width of the room, not the entire width, more or less where it is now. I just curved it in just to make it a little bit more interesting and make the consoles a little bit more highlighted. Alright, pilot station, gun control and emergency control. Emergency control will put out fires in everything, so if the ship is hit, like the magazines are on fire, like these missiles from the missile silo and the turret, we can put fires out. There will be a ladder going in here to allow quick access to the bridge, and also, like I said, in the middle here there will be a recessed area so that the conning tower or fire officer will be going in and he can control the missiles from the conning tower itself. Alright, there is no direct access through a corridor from in this sort of area. The reason being is that I'd have to model an entire corridor along and a stairwell up, which is doable and is not a problem. However, realistically, if you're on the deck and there's a ladder here, you're more likely to use this ladder because it's quicker. So again, keeping polygon count down rather than messing around adding stuff that we don't particularly need. Alright, so that's pretty much the bridge. As you can see, nice view. I should actually point out that this is modelled pretty much to scale, so this is a very similar view that you would have from the actual deck, and I'm actually going to hop down. Whee! Alright, so this platform here will have an AA gun on top. It will fire out here, and it may also be able to use for surface vessels as well. Again, there'll be a ladder here. From here there is going to be a phalanx cannon, which is essentially a minigun guided, a radar guided minigun which fires 70 rounds a second. It is designed to stop incoming missiles. It is also designed to shoot at aircraft, and hopefully also surface vessels. Alright, and that may be controlled from the conning tower as well. Alright, so we're going to head into the bunker. I'd just like to point out that before we do that though, this particular piece and the dome up there, those will actually be spinning. They've just not been set up that way yet. Alright, into the bunker. Now you may notice that the railing here is a little bit low. It's ankle high, so it's a bit, yeah. Obviously this is going to be changed. Okay, go a little bit higher to maybe reach some more standards. Alright, so here will be a magazine. And by a magazine, not a men's magazine or a girls magazine. It will be a weapon supply crate. So you'll come up here, you grab a weapon supply crate, drop it into a boat that will be sort of hanging over the edge here from a crane, which is also going to be modelled in. Alright. And then you get dropped off, and then you go off to a landmass to have your merry adventures. You can also take out heavier stuff and put it out ready for the helicopter. So this is the helipad. Obviously you can see that the textures just aren't holding up. This was actually a stress texture just to see how low a resolution I could have. That's pretty much it. So the heli in particular for this is not actually going to be a transport helicopter, because in real life the heli is not actually used for transportation per se. It's mainly used as anti-submarine defense, as well as supporting a few troops and doing supply runs. Obviously it can take a few passengers here and there, but I think in game we're not really going to be focusing too much on that. It'll just be used as close air support and I say supply runs, and probably anti-surface until we get submarines on the go. So yeah, that is pretty much the entirety of Daring. As you can see, I'm just going to make some loud noises just to show you how skin tight the collisions are. I would like to point out that there are 80 odd collision maps that will have to be individually built for this. This doesn't just get imported into UE4 at all, and it generates automatically collisions. You actually have to go in and you have to assign certain collisions for certain areas, because the complexity of the model, it just doesn't work. UE4 just doesn't understand how to interpret it, so you have to make each individual collision map. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So that, like I say, is HMS Daring. I hope you have enjoyed our first showcase video. I hope that you guys are going to continue to support Dev Team Bravo and all its efforts in future development. And yeah, that is it. Go away now, because I've got work to do. Bye!